Good morning. Glad to be with you here already on Wednesday, talking to you about you and your business. Like usual, I got a lot to cover on today's program. Delighted to have my good friend Sam Coyl on with a company called Intrepid.com, a very cutting-edge leader in the technology sphere, and he brings great content and brings great guests for our segments. Sam, tell us a little bit about Intrepid, which is NETREPID.com, and introduce us to your guests today.
Yeah, sure. Good morning, Kevin. The Intrepid is a technology provider. We help people with virtual and cloud hosting solutions, helping them grow their technology from the ground up to the cloud. And today we have AJ Drexler. She's the president of Campos Incorporated, and she's got some great ideas about marketing.
Very good. Welcome to the show. AJ, kind of give us a little bit of an overview of your firm.
So Campos Inc. is a research and marketing strategy firm. We've been known for 20 years for the quality of our custom market research. But in response to the needs of business, we've expanded the scope of our business across the entire marketing planning continuum, which I think we're going to talk about today.
Very good. By the way, you can learn more about AJ's company at Campos, CAMPOS.com. Sam, your question?
Yeah, good morning, AJ. You and I have talked briefly in the past about your marketing strategies and all that, and I thought maybe you could just spend a second kind of explain to some of the people that might be listening the difference between kind of marketing strategy versus some of the marketing tactics.
So we often hear clients say that they hesitate to jump into their marketing planning effort with both feet because they don't know how or if information that's gathered in a planning effort will be effectively used in their marketing strategy. So without that information, even though, they're making decisions in the dark, they jump right to planning their tactics. What are we going to do? As opposed to what should we do and why should we do it? And, who are our audiences, sort of gaining a deep understanding of who their audiences are to drive their marketing planning effort.
Very good, very good. Kind of give us a profile of a typical client for Campos.
So it's a four-stage process. We start first with data. At Campos, we're fully supportive of the idea of starting your marketing planning effort with a deep dive into your own data. There is so much intelligence in your own data that is not being mined. More and more data is available in companies, and fewer and fewer people are available to really analyze that data. So we have significant capabilities in data analytics and data science that help people to understand all the data that can influence their marketing planning. Next, go ahead.
But my actual specific question was, kind of give us an overview of the typical type of industries and clients you work with.
Oh, across all industries. So here's the philosophy that we have about marketing planning. Marketing planning, the process is the same no matter what kind of business you are, whether it's in higher ed, whether it's in oil and gas, in energy industry, whether it's in healthcare. The idea of mining your data, looking at the secondary research and the trends that are around you, what your competitors are doing, what your regulatory environment, gathering then, figuring out from there what you don't know, what you need to know, and gathering, doing the research that you need to get there. Finally, integrating all of that into specific, competitive, and measurable marketing strategy that drives your business forward.
Sam?
So what are some of the things that people can start pulling from, you talk about their data, what are some of the things that they can start looking through internally to help get this process started?
Well, I think the first stage is to look at your data with every possible field open for discussion. So whether it's sales data, customer data, prospect data, members of an organization, distribution, whatever kind of data it is, evaluating all of the fields that you can be evaluating. So, looking at it by your best customer. Ultimately, what you're looking for in that data is the capacity to define in every possible way your best customer. Your marketing efforts should be directed exclusively at your best customer first. Marketing resources are precious. We don't spend them across a whole continuum of customers. We prioritize them. And for most organizations, they can say something like 20% of our customers are generating 80% of our sales. I did one just this past week where the numbers were a little bit different. It was, 196 customers generating 58% of sales. They had 7,000 customers to choose from, but 196 of them were driving the process. Once you get your data there, it's powerful.
Yeah,
super
absolutely.
powerful.
Do you want to mention again the website Campos, CAMPOS.com? Sam, another question?
So there's clearly a lot of tactics out there. What do you find are some of the most valuable marketing tactics that clients can start being prepared for? Is it websites? Is it Facebook? Is it whatever? What other tools are out there that might be most effective?
Well, I think that, the premise of what we do is saying the tactics that are going to be most effective are the tactics that are specifically related to, understanding that your target audience. So there are basic things that everyone has to have in place. Everyone has to have their website. Not only that, it has to be search engine optimized. All of the basic things that have to happen. But in terms of where you go in social media to drive volume to your website, where you go in traditional media to drive volume, to your website or to any other access point, those channels should be evaluated based on, their use by your best customer. And so, hence, the importance of really understanding who your best customer is and what channels they're using and matching your behavior with where they are.
Very interesting conversation. Want to encourage people to get more information. Want to learn more about Netrepid, Sam Coyl's company. You can go to Netrepid, Netrepid.com. And, of course, AJ Drexler to learn more about her and Campos at Campos, CAMPOS.com. Sam, final thoughts or questions as we wrap up this segment?
Yeah, I thanks for coming on today, AJ. I don't know if maybe there's one quick thought you could leave with everybody as they approach their marketing campaign.
If you step back before you start into, looking at the campaign going forward, stepping back and asking yourself why. Who, what, where, why. Dig into your data, figure out what's going on with your competitors and in the market around you. Figure out, what you don't know and answer those questions, and then dive into, developing a marketing planning process.
Yeah, I think that's really good, and I really appreciate what you shared earlier about really focusing on who your ideal customer is, because people think, hey, you know what, I send that net far and wide, but the reality is you might win them as a customer, but you won't keep them as a customer, and that ends up being a huge opportunity cost because you didn't focus on what really grows your business. So I think that's awesome. Thanks so much, AJ.
Thank you.
Sam, as always, fantastic job. And when we come back, we'll have much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and this is The Price of Business.